Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. The first new build homes for Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation were shipped to Denare Beach today. The community lost 24 of 30 houses this summer to wildfire, and now the community is rebuilding. The new homes, 18 of which are completed, are sitting at the Lake Country Co-op north of Prince Albert. Some of the new houses are wheelchair accessible with lower countertops and accessible bathrooms. Chief Peter Beattie says families have been staying outside of the community while their houses are built and waiting to return.
They'll be able to get back into their community and, try and start over again, because they lost everything when that fire went through.
Co-op says the goal is to transport 2 homes weekly depending on weather conditions. A pedestrian has died after being hit near Hague on Highway 11. It happened yesterday morning just after 7 o'clock. The victim has been identified as a man from the Beardies and Okamesis Cree Nation. The driver remained at the scene and has not been charged. A 17-year-old boy charged in the death of a 16-year-old Prince Albert girl is scheduled to be back before the courts later this month. The teen is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Rihanna Cook. She was shot on November 27th in the 900 block of 12th Street West in Prince Albert and later died of her injuries. The youth, who cannot be named, is the same person taken into custody at the homicide scene in November and was later released. His case was before the courts this morning, but his lawyer requested more time to work on the case. It has been adjourned until March 25th. Police have charged a second person in connection to Saskatoon's first homicide of the year. On February 3rd, 2 men went to St. Paul's Hospital in need of emergency care after being stabbed near 21st Street West and Avenue P South. One of the men died of his injuries. A 26-year-old man has been charged with manslaughter and aggravated assault. Last month, a manslaughter charge against an 18-year-old man was downgraded to accessory after the fact to manslaughter, accessory after the fact to aggravated assault, public mischief, and obstruction of justice. A man who stole a work truck and caused a police chase through Saskatoon was sentenced to 5 years in prison. This was the pursuit last July. 33-year-old Kaz Daniel pleaded guilty to several charges, including robbery, dangerous driving while impaired, and aggravated assault of a police officer. Police say on July 9th, he robbed a convenience store, assaulted a taxi driver, and drove the cab into the store before fleeing. About an hour later at Wiggins Avenue and Cascade Street, he stole a work truck which he drove erratically through the city, ramming 2 police vehicles. Officers eventually forced the vehicle off the road on Circle Drive near Valley Road. Daniel was sentenced at provincial court yesterday. With credit for time served, he'll have about 4 years left to serve. Battleford's RCMP are trying to determine if multiple deaths in the last week are connected to a potentially hazardous liquid circulating in the area. Both the Ministry of Health and the RCMP have issued advisories about the beverage making its rounds. RCMP say at this point they don't have further details to provide about what the drink looks like or what it might contain. They are advising people not to consume unknown liquids or beverages being offered to them. Anyone who knows anything about the liquid is asked to report the information to police. 2 young people have been arrested after 3 BB-style long guns were found in a vehicle outside of a Saskatchewan high school. RCMP were called to Greenall High School in Balgony late this morning over reports of a person with a firearm in a vehicle nearby. The school was placed on hold and secure. 2 male youths were taken into custody and the 3 BB guns were seized. No one was hurt, and police say there is no risk to public safety. Well, now, Jeff, after so much change, I'm getting a little impatient because this cold has hung around a few more hours, a few more days than I would have hoped.
Well, things are going to start warming up. Tomorrow is a bit of a transition day, John, and as we make our way into the weekend, we're going to be seeing temperatures that are well on the warm side of seasonal. Some impressive plus temperatures are on their way. But right now, we're going to keep our eye on the fact there is still some lingering snow coming through the area. But as I say, things are about to change. A pretty wet weekend shaping up on BC's west coast, and we will talk about that later on.
March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month, and new numbers are shedding light on gambling trends in Saskatchewan. Since the pandemic, more gambling has moved online, especially sports betting. 7% of Saskatchewan residents report gambling online in the past year. Men aged 18 to 34 are the most likely to bet on sports weekly. Savvy marketing has gotten more young people into gambling, which was historically for those over 40. The Saskatchewan Problem Gambling Mobile Crisis Helpline reports a small but measurable uptick in calls since 2020. Recent data from Lotteries and Gaming Saskatchewan show VLTs and instant scratch tickets still lead in moderate risk and problem gambling behavior.
Gambling helpline calls have increased, and specifically related to online gambling, since 2022. So that's increased, and the percentage of younger people who are calling the helpline has skyrocketed compared to what it was even 5 years ago.
Officials say it's too soon to conclude online betting is overtaking other forms of gambling in Saskatchewan. They add legal platforms like PlayNow.com and Sports Select include safeguards and warn illegal sites may lack those responsible gaming protections. Remai Modern is due for some pricey maintenance. Less than 10 years after opening its doors in Saskatoon, Remai needs to replace its boilers. A city report says one of the vessels is leaking and there are other signs of failures. Making matters worse is the manufacturer has made the model obsolete and replacement parts are unavailable. The Technical Safety Authority of Saskatchewan says without replacement, the boilers would need 24/7 supervision. So the city will look to spend about $1.5 million to replace them.
It's past time for these boilers. They need to be replaced, so we're going to replace them with something that's more suited to the environment that they have to run in, and that doesn't require that 24-hour supervision.
Boiler money will come from a reserve for art gallery upgrades and will use about a quarter of the money Remai Modern has paid into the fund. The Saskatoon Police Service is working to recruit more women to the force. Chief Cam McBride says women are still underrepresented in the service, but recruitment efforts are underway, focusing on attracting candidates who better reflect the community. The push comes as police services across the country face declining recruitment numbers and increased competition for new officers.
While we don't have a complement of women in police that equal the number of women in our community by percentage, we're definitely focused on identifying women who would be great at policing and trying to get them to come to our service. They do provide a uniqueness that I think was not there historically. Women think a little bit differently, and often they challenge our men to see things in a different and often better way.
The government of Saskatchewan has launched a national recruitment campaign to convince recruits to move to Saskatchewan and work in policing. When we come back, it's game day for a Prince Albert hockey star. We hear from Brooke Hobson of the Ottawa Charge as they take on Seattle tonight. With a goal and 2 assists so far this season for the Ottawa Charge defender, Brooke Hobson joins us today ahead of another busy week of PWHL action. And Brooke, I guess, you've just gotten back into the swing of things post-Olympic break. How does it feel kind of welcoming your teammates back, some of them with maybe a little bit of a scowl and some of them with a big smile?
Yeah, it's been great having them back. We've had a short roster with the Olympic break there for the past few weeks, so welcoming them back is excited. And throughout the break, we definitely missed them all. So there's a couple golds and silvers on the team, but the team's super proud of them regardless of what they came home with, and we're just happy to have them back here in Ottawa.
Does that make that first battle practice or the drills where you're kind of stuck in the corner a little bit extra juicy, or does everybody kind of put the colors back on and represent their team?
Yeah, I think now we're all in red now, and we're excited to be back with the Ottawa Charge, and I think they feel the exact same way. So, from what they said, they're excited to be back here and playing for the Charge. as well.
So on Saturday, it was a shootout loss, 3-2 to Boston, but you guys are currently tied with Toronto for 5th place with 23 points, 1 point out of 4th place. And boy, it is a tight PWHL standings right now. So what are you guys looking at in terms of the first half performance and looking to second half goal setting?
Yeah, I think, our team's we're trying to take it, I think 5 games at a time and picture it as, playoffs, they're 5-game series. So that's kind of what we're thinking about now and trying to win the next 5 games. So we're looking at a little bit shorter than all the way ahead to the end of the season. And we're trying to battle each game. The PWHL, the games are so close, and it's really whoever can just, finish with the puck in the net a couple more times. So the game against Boston was nice to get things going since we've had practices for a few weeks in a row here. So we were excited to be back at it. And yeah, I came out with the overtime loss, but we're not super upset with how we played, and I think it's a good building block for the rest of the season.
Okay, now, so with the first half of the season done, you've got 22 hits. That was actually good enough for top 20 in the PWHL. I love that stat. The media guy must have known that I love that stat because he gave it to me ahead of this interview. Is that something that was always in your game? You just needed to be told you could do it?
Yeah, I think so. I think if, my minor hockey refs remember me and Prince Albert, they probably remember a few hits when they weren't necessarily allowed over there. So I think the hitting in the PWHL really forms well into my gameplay. And it's something I do try and bring onto the ice because it brings a lot of energy to the team and the crowd here in Ottawa. So I do take a lot of pride in trying to be a physical presence out there and bring some energy that way.
Now, speaking of bringing energy, nothing brings energy like scoring a goal. And your goal against Toronto, it was actually kind of an early Christmas present. But boy, was that one the bar down and a big celebration. That's got to feel pretty nice heading into the break.
Yeah, definitely. That one was an exciting one for me there. I had a couple important people in the stands watching me as well. So that was a big moment for me. It also feels good to get the first one off your back and on a new team. So I definitely felt a little lighter, I think, after that. And, I think it's definitely one I'll remember for a long time.
2025-2026 is already on pace to be your best point production, but let's describe to the 2 new teams in Vancouver and Seattle that have joined the league. You've been to both arenas now, so what's it like with the 2 new teams and growth in the PWHL?
It's amazing to see the growth happen so quickly. And I know, like us over here, the league's primarily been, East Coast sort of. So it's nice to be able to go and explore, the West Coast a bit. And those teams, it's exciting to play against them. They have a great fan base, even though it's the very first year. And you go into a new rink not really expecting anything or not knowing what to expect. So the first times that we've walked into those rinks, it's been a very professional atmosphere and it kind of blew expectations just from a visiting team. So it's been fun to go over there and, watch the PWHL expand.
Now, coming up this week, you're going to be playing host to Seattle, and then on Sunday, it'll be the New York Sirens. So a busy schedule picks right back up here in the second half. That's Brooke Hobson joining us, the defender with the Ottawa Charge. Thanks so much, Brooke.
Thank you.
Jeff and the weather forecast are up next, and still to come, different destinations, different requirements for travelers. So, Jeff, we're getting toward the kind of the tail end of the real meat of winter and sort of sprinkling towards spring, aren't we?
Yeah, well, we were getting hints of spring. Yes, a preview of spring coming your way. But yes, we do have some colder temperatures. Are still clean, and we're still going to have some cold weather. Let's not kid ourselves. And then oftentimes March and early April are those really snowy parts of the month because that's when the warm Pacific air is smashing into some cold Arctic air, and poof, you get yourself some snow. But this weekend is going to be one of those warm weekends. But before we get there, we've got to deal with some cold Arctic air that's still hanging around a little bit. We do anticipate anticipate a little bit of something brewing up down in southwestern part of Saskatchewan, southeastern Alberta, but southwestern Saskatchewan, as we lead into the evening, we may see the potential for some freezing rain, and that little bit of pulse of snow is going to be coming up through Saskatoon, we don't think it's going to impact Prince Albert in any significant way. But as I mentioned earlier on, an atmospheric river is setting up to really impact Canada's west coast. Actually, today we're dealing with avalanche warnings that are either considerable or extreme. So certainly we have that to worry about, but that's what's happening this time of year. Okay, let's take a look and see what we've got going on with the futurecast. So you can see those pressure lines starting to gap a little bit, so the winds are backing off, but there you take a look at the southwestern part of Saskatchewan. Yeah, that rain-snow mix, you see that showing up, eventually changing to purple, which means snow, but that pink and that green could be very treacherous as we make our way into the next 12 or 24 hours. Minus 19 overnight for Spiritwood, minus 16 for the Battlefords, minus 20 for Candle Lake, minus 21 in Nipawin, minus 19 in Birch Hills, and minus 18 in Roston and Melfort. Most places dealing with cloudy conditions overnight. Maybe a little bit of flurry activity, but that's unlikely. Cloudy skies tomorrow prevail, and then we have minus 6 for a high in Spiritwood, minus 5 in the Battlefords, minus 9 in Candle Lake and Birch Hills, minus 8 in Roston, and minus 10 in Nipawin and Melfort. And so, yes, those temperatures are below seasonal, but just in some respects a little more so as we get towards the eastern side of the region. Periods of light snow in the Prince Albert region tonight, minus 19, winds out of the southeast at 20 kilometers an hour, but backing off as we saw in the futurecast, and not really picking up tomorrow, though. So the winds will shift around in terms of their direction, but the wind speed won't be that significant. Cloudy skies, minus 9 degrees, and that's how tomorrow is shaping up. And let's take a look at Friday. Friday, cloudy and 0 degrees. So yes, above seasonal temperatures, and then way above seasonal. Right now, we're calling for 6 degrees for a high, depending on when this precipitation shows up. It could be snow, it could be rain, but right now we're calling for flurries. 2 on the plus side for Sunday, and then minus 8 on Monday and Tuesday, and minus 9 on Wednesday. So yes, returning to some slightly cooler than seasonal numbers by the time we get into the early part of next week.
I guess you could almost call that like a pre-spring preview.
I would call that a pre-spring preview. Sure, why not?
There you go. Well, speaking of previews and matchups, late season WHL action saw the Red Deer Rebels visit Prince Albert last night. Some controversy in the third period led to some old-time hockey between possible first-round playoff opponents.
Wall trying to settle it down. Now Christensen tried to bat that bobbling puck down the air. Ice, it's in, they score!
That goal on the power play tied the game at 3 with less than 3 minutes to go in the third. Then just 13 seconds later, the Rebels took the lead after a questionable hit near the penalty box. Red Deer would hold on for a 4-3 win, keeping them in 8th place in the East. 24 penalty minutes, though, were handed out to the teams in a line brawl at the buzzer. The Raiders are in Calgary on Friday night before a rematch in Red Deer Saturday.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Canadians are considering different destinations for March break this year. As Pauline Chan explains, those locations may come with different travel requirements or vaccinations.
With Cuba, Mexico, and Florida off many Canadians' lists for March break travel, Dr. Christine Palme says she's hearing more about patients planning for Southeast Asia, the Mediterranean, and Central America.
I think that there is a shift in location choice just based on what's happening globally.
And that may mean different vaccinations are needed.
Some locations such as Africa, Southeast Asia, they do require pre-planning in order to get the vaccines. There's also some financial costs that may be associated with this that may need some financial planning in advance.
For example, anti-malaria medications must be taken before, during, and after your trip, depending on where you're traveling, and new vaccinations are always being developed.
We now have vaccines against chikungunya, which is an illness that can be quite devastating. There's some things down the pipeline for dengue fever.
Measles is spreading in many countries, so make sure all your standard immunizations are up to date.
Patients who have chronic diseases may need to speak to their family doctors about bringing certain medications, antibiotics, particularly if they're traveling somewhere remotely. So, really there's not a one size that fits all.
Anti-nausea medication, diarrhea treatment, and pain meds are recommended for your first aid kits. Don't forget sun protection and bug repellent, especially in areas where mosquito-borne illnesses like Zika, chikungunya, and malaria are common. And while March break is less than 2 weeks away, there is still time for vaccinations.
Generally speaking, nothing is too late.
Dr. Palme says visiting a travel clinic, especially for overseas destinations, is a good idea. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
All right, Jeff, 2 long-lost friends have been reunited thanks to the internet. They took part in a student exchange program in the 1990s. Kirsten Fleming, originally from Regina, and Naomi Uchibayashi from Japan became friends when they took part in the Regina Fujioka student exchange program 30 years ago. This year, Fleming's in Japan for the Tokyo Marathon. With a few Instagram posts and the help of her followers and friends, she was able to track down and set up a reunion with her friend.
It was very surreal and really overwhelming. I was just like shaking, and I got there and there were so many people and everybody had their phone out, and they had like people from City Hall, Fujioka were there, and people who had been through the program after me.
Fleming says she met Uchibayashi's husband and 2 sons, and language, Jeff, was not an issue because Fleming's long-lost friend now teaches English in Japan. So there you go. That's one probably on the list. I probably am not going to compete in a marathon, but I definitely have Japan on the list.
Why wouldn't you compete in a marathon?
I have no idea, but okay. Japan's on the list of places to travel.
Japan is very cool.
Yeah. Have you been?
Yes. My sister-in-law is Japanese, and so I was there for my brother's wedding, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, there you go. My brother went on a hockey tournament, if you can believe it, a hockey tournament back, this has got to be 1998 now, but he went to the, I think, island of Sapporo. Is
right? Nice. Sapporo is on Honshu, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it, so now I want to go.